there is no way to overestimate how important this concept is. I mean, I just could not overestimate it. I see it all the time. I see it in business. I see it in dating. I see it in people like shopping. I see it in decisions they make about practical life. And let me give you one of my favorite verses that illustrates this concept. Here it is from the New International Version of the Bible. One who is full refuses honey. In other words, I just ate it, but I'm fine. I don't need any more. You bring honey to me? No thanks. I'm full. I'm fine. A person who is full refuses honey. But even bitter food tastes sweet to the hungry. Proverbs 27:7 says that. Let me read it again. One person or a person who is full refuses honey, but even bitter food tastes sweet to the hungry. Now, let's take that into the psychology of human functioning. Okay, it's easy to figure out, oh, yeah, I just went to, Shake Shack or Chick-fil-A or somewhere and I ate 14 dozen sandwiches and you come give me a lollipop. Nah, no, I'm fine. Okay, well, it's simple, right? But here's the concept. What if you're single? And what if you feel lonely inside? Okay. You're hungry. You feel lonely. You feel like you're not close to anybody. Or what if you're even married and you feel unloved or unappreciated? What if you are a worker on some team or some company and you feel like nobody appreciates what you're doing? They don't really care. What if? In other words, the term for this is what if we are in some kind of a need state, a state of need, where the needle on the gauge, the gas tank, it's kind of hovering down there around empty. Well, if you're lonely and you're dating and you're single, somebody comes along, there's somebody, right? And they got some good things about it. Tastes good. Some of that honey tastes good, right? But there's also a lot of termites in that honey. They got some issues. Maybe they're self-centered. Maybe they're abandoning in a way. They call you and then they don't call you. And then they kind of are nice sometimes and other times they ignore you. Are you going to put up with that? Or are you going to hitch yourself to that wagon? You're going to say, yeah, I'm going to get exclusive with you. Because my option is if I don't, then I'm going back to loneliness. See, if I don't eat this honey, then I have no honey. But if your life is full and then not so great honey comes along, you have sustaining power. You don't have to put up with that crap. Because when you're mistreated, you go, you know what? I don't need this. Literally, how many times have we heard that phrase in the popular vernacular? See, phrases come into being for good reason. When somebody says, I don't need this, that's exactly what they mean. I don't need this. But some people do need this, meaning the whole package. I need, yeah, this. The honey with the termites, I'll take it because I'm so lonely. If I don't take this, then what do I have? You see singles do that all the time. Got a dating webinar that you can find on boundaries.me/dating called How to Get a Date Worth Keeping. Now think of those two phrases. How to get a date, you need to find some honey, right? But worth keeping. And when you get into the worth keeping dynamics, what looks worth keeping depends on how maybe lonely or isolated or hopeless or lack of self-confidence we find ourselves in. How many times we see this in marriage? An affair is it's a bitter, bitter, bitter honey. But a lot of times people feel lonely and like hungry, not even an affair, maybe another relationship that they leave the one they're in to go find because out of need, out of hunger, or job choices, or careers. So here's what I want you to think about. Now, this may not be in the big categories like I've talked about, but I want you to think about this. How is your current need state or the way you're thinking about your need state affecting the choices that you're about to make? Do you have to take any job that comes along? Do you have to take any person that comes along? Do you have to take any relief for pain or distress that comes along? Not a lot of difference in that and a drug addiction, right? See, this is why it behooves us to take care of our hunger in healthy ways so that we are not prone. I mean, if you're out lost in the woods, I'm up here in the mountains this week doing a retreat. And if I went off on a hike and I got lost in the woods and they couldn't find me, after a certain amount of time, I'm going to eat whatever I find. And that's what this proverb says. So I want you to build your life around a very, very secure circle of love and support that takes care of that basic hunger, that you're not alone in the world. And if you have God and you have a few other people that are committed to your growth and to your well-being and are for you, you can say no to a lot of bitter honey out there because you don't need that. You don't need the approval of that critical person at your church or workplace. Why do you have to suck up to that? You don't need that. You have people that love you. You're not so hungry for friends that you have to become a masochistic partner to somebody who's critical. So that's why we talk over and over on this program of building life from the center outward. The center of being grounded with you and your relationship with God and with other people, where you're grounded. And then from that center, you can build a life outward where you're making choices that come from a full place, not an empty place. And in some of these riskier scenarios, people make choices out of desperation and panic, fears of abandonment, fears of not being loved. God can give you that security. And He can put people around you that can give you that security where you don't need to say yes to poison stuff. So don't let your need states determine your vision. Certainly, you got to get something to eat today, but have a vision for life that's past whatever I might need to make it through the night. So you want a vision that's bigger than that, that's broader than that, that's better than that, that's higher than that, that's more nourishing and fulfilling, and it has a purpose to it. The only way to do that is to make sure that we're grounded so we can make those kinds of choices.